Okay, hey. What's happening? What's happening out there, family? What's going on? What's going on? Peace in. Welcome to another episode, another edition of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm the host, Tony Ray Harvey. This is presented by Publicity Agents, and we are telecasting from the Green Haven Pocket area in the southwestern part of Sacramento on June 7th, 2024, Friday, June 7th. So I know we haven't spoken about the last 10, 11 days, but I do want to thank you for tuning in. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You know what I'm here to talk about, the Sacramento Kings. So let's get right into it. As you know, about a week ago, Mike Brown, he signed an extension for $30 million at $8.5 million per, okay, which could climb up to $10 million a year based on incentives. So that's kind of what was expected. I know there was a lot of drama in between. $8.5 million is basically a base salary, and it's right around where he wanted to be, and around $10 million a year range. But we'll see, what happened with that on these coaching thing, because Bobby Hurley brother could be signing with the Los Angeles Lakers, coming out of the University of UConn, and he could be signing for some really top dollars. And this show won't be no $10 million a year. All right, that I just can't fathom. But won a couple championships at UConn. I do remember him here just a few years ago with Rhode Island before he took the UConn job, and he brought that program up. Then, of course, he went to a winning traditional program in UConn, and hey, maybe his time is now. But he's going to get paid a lot of money in that head coach position. So, Mike Brown, he's set. He is set, and all he needs is some roster tweaks from the Sacramento Kings, and I think he will do well from there. But with Wojnarowski and Shams, dropping their reports on the X platform, kind of mixing things up, and then we got a pathological liar here, trying to throw some stuff into the mix and all that stuff. I really don't be trying to pay a lot of attention to all that stuff, because what that is, we talk about content over everything, which is absolutely 150% true. But what people don't understand, okay, especially people don't understand the journalism business. They don't think they have to have any academics, surrounding, putting out fair, accurate, credible reports. Conflict plays a lot to this stuff too, okay? And whether they know it or not, you're doing something to raise that type of conflict. Shams and Woj, I don't give a hoot about anything. They know what they're doing. They know how vulnerable Sacramento is when it comes to these type of things. And whatever it was, whether it was Brown's camp or the owner, Sacramento Kings, Vivek Ranadive, or the general manager, Monty McNair, you played right into their hands, if you ask me, because that didn't have to happen. Okay, we didn't know what was going on as far as any negotiations or anything like that, but we did know that Mike Brown should get a bump in pay, which he did. So I'm glad that happened. We'll leave all that alone. It's time to move on. I mentioned it again, the Sacramento Kings do have to make some roster tweaks, in order to make the playoffs. Because right now, yes, and it has been said, and it has been spoken, and it has been written, you're going to have to make the playoffs next year. Okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to have to make the playoffs. And it's extremely high competitive Western NBA Western Conference. So that's where it's at. So congratulations to Mike Brown. Now you can move on. I'm not sure. I have to check on. I'm trying to follow his monitor him throughout the summer too, because with the Olympics coming up, I would think that he would be coaching the Nigerian team again. I don't know. I have to check that out. I haven't checked on that, but I will get back with you on those developments if there's any. Okay. But I do want to start right here though. Okay. Mike Brown, 94-70. Won 48 games his first season here. And then he wins 46. Okay. Which is a little bit of a 2-game step back. I understand that. Okay. But he got the team in the postseason twice. Once in the playoffs. And this past season, the play-in, which they won a game. All right. It's 94-70 these past 2 seasons. So, I love my brothers and everything like that and stuff like that, but I don't understand why you would think that he would not be able to get another job in the association with those type of numbers. I mean, I'm gonna, call it for what it is. It's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. And the reason why I say that, okay, we already know about Mike Brown's, track record with LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the little stint that he had with Kobe in LA, etc. But from 2016 to 2022, Mike Brown was the lead associate head coach for the Golden State Warriors behind Steve Kerr. He took over that position when Luke Walton, who eventually became the Kings coach later on, took off to the Los Angeles Lakers, that head coaching gig. And what we all know, it was a period of time when Steve was ailing. He had some back problems. Luke, beginning of the season, took the team to 24-0, 24-0, winning. Okay. Some people would say that team was on autopilot. You got to keep the team morale up and having to buy into you for that little brief period of time. And I think Luke did that. As a matter of fact, shout out to him and his family. My condolences to your loss, Bill Walton, which I did mention in my last podcast and everything. Beautiful man. He was basically friendly with everybody who came through Arco Arena and Go to One Center when his son was coaching there. Okay, but and speaking of his son, so yeah, he got that gig. 2016, Mike Brown, he comes in as the associate head coach, but he sits there in that second chair for the next 6 years with the Warriors. And at one point, he was 12-0 in the playoffs when Steve Kerr was unavailable. 12-0. 12-0. 12-0. I don't know if any coaching opportunities came up around that time. It didn't really matter, but I will say that him sitting in that position, because we all think of that. Anything happened to Steve Kerr, Mike Brown would have been the talk of the town out there in the Bay Area as far as taking over that head coaching position. And I truly believe he was capable of doing that. So I don't understand why you would just say that this brother couldn't, after what he did with the Kings, couldn't get another gig in the association. Okay? That's like saying, oh, you did it in Sacramento, which we shouldn't do, because I'm tired of people bashing the city. I've been living here for almost 36 years. 36 years. And at one point, this franchise almost was on its way out the door. And I supported them then, and I'm supporting them now. I know it can be the laughingstock of the association, the country, the nation and stuff. Okay? But it's some really good things that's going on here. Some really good things. It's going to take a while for the Kings to revamp their reputation, with the rest of this country. So until then, okay, put some respect on that. Okay? And I'm not standing on business. I'm holding the business up like I do the business of journalism. That man would possibly get another job, another gig in this league. Okay, with all the things, you don't know that. Okay, all right. If anything had fell through with the Kings and Vivek and Monty had let him out of that last year, that contract, boom, it could have been Cleveland. Okay, it could have been the Lakers again, which I highly doubt. It could have been that. And I respect the man. Monty Williams is not safe in Detroit. He's not. Okay? I think they're going to give him another go at the start of the season, but if he don't get that thing going around, he's just going to be sitting down collecting a lot of money. Collecting a lot of money. So, yeah, I just really didn't, I appreciate you fellas. I love y'all and stuff like that. I just totally could not agree with. I just could not fathom the fact that this man could not get another gig in this league. Despite the fact that he spent 6 years with the Warriors. He was sitting right there in that spot. If anything had happened to Steve Kerr, they would have looked at him first. Now, I know after he had got hired by the Sacramento Kings back in May 2022, he had to coach a couple games. I forget what was going on with Steve Kerr at that time, in one of those series. Okay, he just got the job with the Kings, and he had to coach the Warriors, and they lost about 50 points, I believe. I think that was against Phoenix. Okay, but it came back the next game, Mike Brown as the coach, and they won. They won. He turned that around real quick, just like he turned around this franchise and gave it a soul real quick. And he earned his dollars. This go around too, because I don't even know. No, they haven't extended a coach's contract here in Sacramento in quite some time. Probably the last person was Rick Adams, if I'm not mistaken. And I was around for those years too. So, yeah. Mike Brown, all arrows point to the fact that he could at least get another job. I mean, the man is only 53, 54 years old, young. And what I saw and everybody else seen with that, how he run that system, okay? I mean, from his office to the practice floor to the basketball floor and G1C, we needed that. We needed that. And if that had failed, these negotiation contract discussions had failed at any time, and they had released this man from his contract and let him move on, maybe not this season, this upcoming season, but somewhere down the line, I do believe he would have got another job. But that's just me in my heart. But there's no way that I could, okay. And I know there's 2 or 3, at least 2 winning coaches that just got released this past season. Okay, out of Cleveland, out of Phoenix. And I thought they were pretty good coaches too. But evidently, that synergy, that chemistry, it was not there with those players. And obviously these guys was on a tight leash. And it did not work, and they're on their way out, and they had winning records. Okay. Now, possibly, they may get another job, assistant coach job, maybe a head coach job. Highly unlikely, but that's not the case here with Mike Brown at all. At all. So, yeah, that's just how I feel about that, and with the Warriors and his situation there, being the associate head coach. Yes, yeah. So moving on, okay. Malik Monk, as we know, is going to be a free agent this summer, so that's the next order of business. Hey, Malik, go ahead and take that 4 years, $78 million to stay here, bro. Okay, and make them re-up you after 2 years, after 2 seasons, or after the first season. Stay. stay. You already know the system. Everything works out for you. Okay. And at some point, yes, you will get the generational wealth that you are so well deserving of. Compliments of the Sacramento Kings franchise. Okay. I know there's been a few reports past couple days linking him with the Detroit Pistons of all teams. The Detroit Pistons. They said they will be actively pursuing Malik Monk in free agency. It's just a report. How credible that is, we're about to find out, because we do know San Antonio Spurs, the Orlando Magic, possibly Philadelphia 76ers, and Oklahoma City Thunders may be in the mix too. I don't know where this is going. Okay, he can write his own ticket, and we're gonna see what's happening. All right, he could go as low as that 4 years, $78 million and stay here in Sacramento Kings, or he can go as high as 22 to 25 million per for the next 3 or 4 seasons with a different team. Or maybe somewhere in the middle of that. I'm thinking anywhere between 22 to 25 tops, $100 million. Because as we know, NBC will be taking over NBA games after next season. I forget what it was. It was a crazy number. $76 billion, if I'm not mistaken. It was crazy. It was crazy. But things about to change. And, TNT, they all mixed up in that. Matter of fact, they coming up on their last season, doing their thing. Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, Charles, we'll see. But there's a lot of money in this game, okay? The money's out there for Malik Monk. That's what I'm saying. It is out there. Now, whether he want to take that with a 14-68 team, because that was the Detroit Pistons record last season, so be it. But he did tell us in that exit interview, okay, I can be making a lot of money playing for a bad team. Do you really want to do that? Okay. See, this is what people don't understand, and I don't think it's being really talked about. Malik has playmaking abilities on offense. Of course, he can get up and down the court. He can block a shot here or two, come up with a steal. Yes. All right. I would say he's an average defensive player, but his game is on offense. His first season during training camp, I actually was listening to him on the radio show with Nick Cattles and Rami when they were here. And they done moved on. So I wish you brothers well. I hope y'all and your family doing okay. I know Nick had moved back to the East Coast, Connecticut, Massachusetts, somewhere like that. And Rami, he's from the Midwest. He's North Chicago, so he's from my area. But whatever the deal is, I hope you guys are doing well. But I do remember listening on their radio show interviewing Malik Monk, and they asked him a really, really, really significant, great question. Well, what is it, some of the things that you do that no one knows it about? And Malik said, well, I don't think people understand, about my playmaking ability. I'm a playmaker. Okay. I'm sitting here listening to this. Okay. I'm in Sacramento Kings practice facility on media day when they're having this discussion. And sure enough, he proved that while he was here. Okay. With, the little pocket passes, the alley-oops, setting up the big man in the post, passing on the break. He can make it happen. Because why? He has an IQ in that area. And that area is playmaking. Now, I don't know where it stands in the NBA, but playmaking skills, to me, come at a premium. They really do. It's not a whole bunch of people out there who can do it. Over time, people develop those skills. Okay? Over time. Because one of the best playmakers I ever seen in my freaking life was Irvin Magic Johnson. And I saw this when he was playing at Michigan State in the Big Ten back in 1978-79. And then later his last game against Larry Bird in the championship game when they played Indiana State University. Indiana State University out of Terre Haute. Yeah. Playmaking skills come here at a premium, and I'm sure that's what these teams are zeroing in on. Not only that, he can shoot from the outside. And I know that's what Orlando needs too, because they need more shooters. They need more shooters, as many shooters they can get. So I know they're probably looking at Klay Thompson and they're looking at Malik Monk. So we'll see. We will see what happens with that situation in the next 3-4 weeks when the free agent period opens. So we know we have the draft coming up on June 26th and 27th. Okay, the Kings been working out a lot of players. I've been, reading over the wire and on these social media platforms. So that's going down. Not too long ago, they worked out Coleman Hawkins here from Sacramento, and as you know, he played for my beloved University of Illinois Fighting Illini. He worked out for him, and then I guess right after the next day, boom, hey, I'm going back to school. So he's going back to school, not back to Illinois, but he does have another year eligibility, so he'll be a graduate student. So he could wind up in Kentucky or North Carolina or wherever he feels that he fit for one more year. But he has pulled out of the draft. And he did that, I believe, right after the Sacramento Kings workout. So there's only 58, 59, 60 spots in the draft. So maybe someone told him, if you're not there, we'll be interested in, a free agent, blah, 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 whatever. Coleman's not hearing that right now. Okay. Coleman is an excellent defensive player, but he does need to still continue working on that three. And he did excellent with the Fighting Illini last season, shooting the three. And from my understanding, he was hurt most of the season anyway. So I'm looking forward to him, bouncing back in college, having a good season and coming back. And there won't be anything else to look forward to next season. You will be in the draft. Yes, sir. Unless you have an injury. But heaven forbid for that. So, yeah, so we got the draft coming up. I know there's been a lot of talk about trades. Those things are coming up. Just been a lot of content out there that everybody's been speaking on, and I've been paying attention to it, and none of it's wrong. Nothing that anybody's saying or any scenarios or transaction that can be made with the Sacramento Kings is wrong. Is wrong. We're looking at all types of situations. I've been watching a lot of locked in podcasts from around the league. My favorite one right now is the Chicago Bulls. Those are two out there, and everybody's talking about what trades that their respective team that they're reporting on could make. And what draft pick that they should be looking at. This is some really great content out there. Okay, outside of what we have been dealing out here, because I'm gonna tell you, okay, there's only that one word that throws the whole program off, and that's conflict. That's conflict, and people don't understand that. They're doing that for clickbait. And you're not really presenting yourself right. That's if you're gonna make a commentary on something like I'm doing right now, that's fine. But when you come to those objective matters, and what I mean by those objective matters, okay, kind of stay within the confines of adding attributions, to your story to make it more credible. Otherwise, people are gonna call them false. I have happened to me before too, so I understand. Okay, way early up in my career. Okay, but when you're talking about being fair, you're talking about being balanced, you're talking about being accurate. Okay, fill in the blanks. Okay, fill in the blanks because everybody got sources. Okay, get them on the record. Okay, because of course, I hear it all the time. I don't really care because all questions are stupid to me. Okay, regardless of what you say, because most of the time, rhetorically, everybody know what the response is going to be, but you can't say it. You have to get somebody else to say it, regardless how it comes out. But that's basically how it is. But yeah, there's a lot of content out there to pay attention to that I have been, in between doing reporting at the state capitol here, doing my political work. But I've been trying to stay as much as possible, keep my ears and eyes open about what's happening with the NBA and the Sacramento Kings this summer. And I know we have the draft coming up. Then certainly after that, the California Classic, which will be played here at the Golden One Center. One game is going to be in San Francisco. I think that's July 10th. And then you have the Summer Leagues in Las Vegas. And free agency. So let me not skip out on that. I do want to, before I sign off, mention that JaVale McGee, who played with the Sacramento Kings this past season, is having a celebrity softball game at Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento, where the Rivercats play. That will be on June 15th. I missed him a couple days ago trying to get an interview with him. He's out of town, but hopefully when he gets back in town early part of next week, before the 15th, I'll be able to talk to him a little bit about that. He did an excellent interview session with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper just a few days ago on their radio show. He's a truth teller. Found out some things about the Sacramento Kings that, behind closed doors that we probably would have never heard if he hadn't mentioned it. But he was right. He was right. Okay. About some of the things. Some of the things could be debatable, but I do like the way he presented himself and how the teams, the makeup, their mindset is during some of these games. And I'm talking about that San Antonio game that he made a remark, JaVale made a remark on them about. They were just glad to win that game. And they barely won it. I mean, they had to win it on a steal and a breakaway dunk by Domantas Sabonis in the waning moments to win that game because they were behind. Well, they were winning, then they were down about 8 points, and then they came back and they were able to pull it out. And JaVale said, well, you guys, what are you happy about? What are you glad about? Okay, you barely won. One of the worst teams in the league. Okay, thanks for sharing that, though. That was a good segment with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper a few days ago. And and also he did a show with Jake Gayton and Sarah Hodges on their television show too. So he's getting around trying to promote this fundraiser. He hasn't really thrown out any names of who these people will be when they show up at the field. I got a feeling a couple of them, but hey, you never know. I'm going to try to make it out there myself. Once again, that'd be June 15th at Sutter Health Park, where the Rivercats play in West Sacramento. And that is on a Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. And I do want to thank you people for stopping in. I'm only going to talk for a few, and I'm going to try to get back with you as soon as possible and provide more digital commentary on my end. Please, once again, hit that like button. Subscribe, please. I'm trying to grow this thing. As you see, I'll be working on this studio here pretty soon. There's some other things that I need to put up in here. And I do want to say that, because Major League Baseball is integrating Negro League Baseball statistics, into their system. Okay, so one of the things that was popping was Josh Gibson, who never played in MLB, who was one of the baseball greats in the Negro League, playing for the Pittsburgh Crawford, and then later on the Homestead Grays, which is also in the Pittsburgh area, too. I think he had over 800 home runs. His slugging percentage is just slightly higher than the Ty Cobb in the MLB, so he's number one in that category, and a few other statistical categories. So, I'm liking that too. I'm going to try to dress up this studio with some of those things, and just keep the spirit alive. Because I used to play baseball a lot when I was young. I think it was one of my best sports. I just didn't really focus on that. I want to play basketball, and be a track and field athlete. But enough of that. Once again, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button for me, please. And thanks for stopping in for another edition of On the Cutting Room Floor with your host, Tony Ray Harvey. And once again, I'm telecasting from the Greenhaven Pocket area in the southwestern Sacramento. So we'll be seeing each other soon. God bless you all, and to your health and family. I'm out of here. Peace out.